Most of us grew up in what we term urban cities. And so we never really got to see people being paraded for one sin or crime or another while jesters followed, doing, oh, shame and all of that. But this really still happens even in these urban cities, just a little differently. It happens when a supposed criminal is found, or even just a suspect is found. They're paraded and posted on social media, but we don't mind. They're criminals. But what if they aren't? One of the saddest things that can happen is to be paraded as a criminal and detained when you have absolutely no idea what your crime is, or definitely did not do it. I will be sharing a similar story with you later on. There are 200 million stories unfolding every single day in this country. Bold Stories reveals them and the bold voices behind them. My name is Antonietta Kalunta, and you're watching Bold Stories. Today, I want to tell you the devastating story of a Twitter user that saddened many and cost both the young man and his family members their peace of mind, which we hope they're recovering from. On the 9th of July 2020, in a not yet deleted post as of the time of this shoot, a young man took to his Twitter handle to share a story of a time in September 2012 when he was arrested by some alleged members of SARS. He says he was arrested and paraded as a suspect for days in Anambra. In his words, he says it took his family hell to get him out. He narrated that it took a spy that worked with his family members to discover that the young man was swapped with a criminal. Swapped? That's a whole topic that begs for an episode of its own. The reported allegations of abuses by the Nigerian police range from arbitrary arrest to unlawful detention. Another Nigerian has decided to share with us today his ordeal with some SARS officers. We appreciate his boldness in the face of these events. This is Dambaba.
Good morning, my name is Dambaba. I actually left Lagos on 25th of July 2020 for my country home, Benue State, alongside my cousin. And we passed a lot of a checking point. The police harass us, each time they see me with my dread, they go say I be Yahoo boy and all this stuff. I try to, they check my phone throughout. And we got to Benin bypass, one point where we met some police dressed like SARS. They arrested us and they take me down from the vehicle and demand for 150,000 naira, which I plead with them that I don't have such money. They accuse me of using a jeep. If you don't have money, where you get jeep from? And I told them that I work genuinely in Lagos. After everything, I was forced to an ATM or POS, where I withdraw a 10K. They claimed it was declined, which I've not seen. And they took me to another POS. I withdraw another 10,000. They charged me 200 naira extra. I gave them, they suffered me and my cousin. They kept us under the rain for hours. We were later released after paying the ransom. And then I fell ill. I almost died, but I thank God nothing happened.
Coming on board today to tell us our rights and examine today's story with us is a legal practitioner. Let's hear from him.
Good day all. My name is Ikenna Aniokwe. I'm a legal practitioner. Today I'll be reacting to the story shared in today's episode about the young man who was basically swapped with a criminal by SARS. It's such a disheartening story, but it has become commonplace. Coming to the question of what constitutes an unlawful detention. An unlawful detention simply means a detention without the due process of the law. And if you want to understand what the due process of the law is with respect to detention, you go to our ground norm, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. It touches the threshold of unlawfulness for two reasons. First, is that pursuant to Section 36(5) of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, every person accused of a criminal offense is presumed to be innocent. Now, when you parade somebody who is merely a suspect, you're giving off an appearance that the person is guilty. And we live in a social context and in a global context where appearance is almost everything. Is almost everything. With someone with chains, a handcuff in their hand, chains on their feet, cameras everywhere, it is going to give off the impression to someone who is watching it that this person has definitely done something wrong. And the person who is forming that opinion might no longer follow through with the trial to find out whether or not the person was declared innocent. But you have managed to taint the image of that suspect in the mind of the other person. So it undermines and violates their right to be presumed innocent. I also would argue that it also violates their right to dignity in accordance with Section 34 of the 1999 Constitution. Okay, and that is with respect to the security agencies who are parading them. And you might also have an actionable thought of defamation against maybe the communication houses, the TV and the broadcast houses who are broadcasting such parade.
Now, the legal steps you can take if you are unlawfully detained or paraded is very simple. Sue the hell out of them. Assert your right in court. Go to court, sue them, and our courts are very open about these issues. Once you are able to prove your case that you are unlawfully detained, that you were illegally paraded, the court would, in line with our constitution, grant you compensation, and also, in most times, in most circumstances, order the airing agency of government to publicly apologize to you.
Being able to sue anybody, to drag anybody to court is a constitutional right that you can, you can assess, you can assert at any point in time, making sure that you approach a court of competent jurisdiction and that every requirement that you need to fulfill, any condition precedent to fulfill before you bring such matter that you've brought it. You can, of course, sue Nigerian police. Many people have sued the Nigerian police. Some have won, some have lost. And the question of whether or not it is possible to win, well, it will depend on a different, a competing set of factors. First of all, is the facts of the case. Is there a reasonable cause of action for you suing the Nigerian police? Obviously, you cannot see them and just feel their uniform is so bad looking, therefore I'm going to sue them. There would not be any cause of action for that. But assuming in this case, in the context of the discussion that you've been unlawfully detained or quote unquote unlawfully paraded as a suspect, you can obviously sue them, and it will depend on the fact. And something to bear in mind is that, remember, the judge is not present when the facts were happening. The judge does not know the facts of the case. So that makes you have to bear in mind that you still need to prove the facts of the case before the judge.
What are other things a victim of unlawful detention can do? You can speak out. The social media is there. It has given everyone a voice. You can speak out. Tell the world about what happened to you. You can also petition. If, for instance, a police station was used in arresting you and all that, you can petition to higher authorities. You can petition to the Commissioner of Police, to the Police Service Commission. You know, they have hierarchy in the system. You can petition. You can even petition to the National Assembly. Most times they will intervene. Most times they will call for investigation into what happened to you. And then the officers or whoever is involved will be fished out. You can also petition to the Nigerian Human Rights Commission They have the jurisdiction to entertain such cases, and they will hear you out. The traditional media is also there. So most times these days, when you speak out on Twitter, on social media, on Facebook, most times the traditional media, like the newspaper, the Punch newspaper, the Nation News, these guys, they always reach out to you.
Some other things you can do to seek justice for such damage will be, I know the police has recently instituted their internal complaint resolution mechanism. I think it's called the CPU, the police CP or CRU, if I'm not mistaken. You can adopt such mechanism, complain to the police directly. Sometimes going to court, or most times going to court, is the longer route to follow in situations like this. So maybe just make a complaint directly to the police, to the senior police officer in charge of the officer who has violated your right, the commissioner of police. You can write them. And there's the power of social media in this age. Twitter, Facebook, what have you. You can use them.
And then my final words are this: always speak out. Nigerians, we have that problem. When the police illegally detain people, your EFCC, and then when you go home, your lawyers will tell you, okay, let's sue them. You say, oh no, I've left it to God, I've forgiven them. It is not your place. No. When you do these things, you are not only doing it for yourself. You need to speak out for the world to hear you. You need to speak out for these people to be fished out, to be punished, to be held accountable for the wrongs they did to you. So all I'm going to say is speak out. Speak out. Don't keep quiet. Speak out in your own way. You can speak out through your lawyers. You can speak out by yourself, through the social media and every other means possible. So please do not keep quiet about these issues. Always speak out.
Thank you for joining us, sir. That was quite enlightening. Police arrest and incarceration are common in Nigeria for probable and non-probable causes, reasonable and non-reasonable suspicion, with or without investigation. However, it is imperative that as citizens we are informed of our rights so we can immediately spot when they are being violated. Thank you for watching today's episode. Don't forget to tell us what you feel about today's story by chatting with us on social media. You can also get your voice heard by featuring your story. Simply send us a message on social media or make a post of your story using the hashtag #BoldStories. My name is Anthonyetta Kalunta. Bye for now.